pushed now, it'll be $40 on re-release. So I can't necessarily claim that was the right or the wrong decision, but you know, it's what we went with. So all right, let's go. You ready, Zoltar?
Yep, I'm good to go. I'll ready up and we'll get started.
So not used to this. Whoa, look at all this water.
Oh man, reveal map. All right, not a lot of carbon on this map. I guess I should mute myself for you
nope,
so you don't get any hints.
That is not true.
Oh, no, it's very true. Because
Game Slayer just went for it.
He found it maybe a little off. Well, there was only 12, right? And he could have eliminated so much more of it than he did. It would have been fantastic, I think. Just be like, nope, no carbon for anybody but me. Alright guys, so this is the reveal map mode. As we can see, there's no scanning available to anybody.
So we got 50,000.
And instead, they can just see the entire map.
For the full zero. At this point, I'm not sure why Cubit and Zwingli haven't found it yet. There's no real reason to wait. Unless they want that extra claim bonus.
Or maybe they just haven't decided, you know?
Yeah, it's a big map.
Or maybe we lost Cubit again. Who knows? Nope, Cubit's still here. Okay, good.
This colony isn't going to build itself.
Oh wow, everybody is fighting over all that carbon. That's going to go awfully for Cubit.
Oh man, Game Slayer has too much carbon at this point. I cannot even imagine how much carbon he's producing.
Well, he was blocking out Cubit from
taking $100 for him for a second. The price of carbon is going to thaw him out very soon. In fact, I'm just going to sell what I have now.
Oh yeah, definitely sell what you have now. No question about that. Of course, Game Slayer's already on HQ level 2 and he's taking a pretty big lead. Man, there wasn't a lot of iron available either. It was just a weird map.
No. Oh, I'm so far from all the resources.
Alright, so as we can see, guys, in chat, what's happened is, because of the reveal map mode, a lot of these players actually have a significant amount of debt already.
You know what is not on this map, though, is silicon.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go ahead and claim those 2 silicons to the southeast of me, just because like there's so little of it, and at least I'll get 1 adjacency bonus.
Right. It does amuse me how Hexmage has managed to push his stock price down to $2.
Whoa!
Because he has $107,000 in debt. I think it was the second found, wasn't he? Or was Game Slayer's second? Those two were almost back to back, I think.
Yeah.
Because Game Slayer already has $111,000 in debt.
I hate those filthy bandits.
I maybe should have considered a different option of just focusing on money and trying to buy him out. It's hard to manage that right to start off.
Yeah, usually you have to get to HQ level 2 first.
Although I'm not familiar with Hexmage, so is he? I don't know if he's a reasonable player or not.
I've seen him around a while ago, but not as much lately. So
I definitely have nowhere near the amount of cash I need to be able to buy him out. So I assume that's going to go to someone else. Although plenty of other players have their own stock problems.
Yeah, Hexmage says he doesn't play often. I've seen him around. He's competent, but he's competing with Game Slayer and you.
Someone took my aluminum.
So, well, it wasn't your aluminum then.
Yeah. That's $42. Pretty good time to grab it.
Well, yeah. Man, you guys really found it away from everything, didn't you? Sheesh.
Yeah, I didn't notice how. I just saw the high carbon. And I was like, well, I like my scavenger.
Scientific colony expanded.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see any iron on this map. So I didn't feel like I had any choice.
No, it's true. I do think Game Slayer and PB have managed to pull off pretty decent leads so far this game, but I don't know how they're going to carry them through. Especially because PB, I think, doesn't have access to the adjacency bonuses he thought he would. Since he's got water kind of next to him, but it's right up against the edge of the map, and he can't quite get food or reactors established easily. I've had this interesting bug, by the way, this whole time, where sometimes when I open up a tooltip, because I was scrolled over the carbon tooltip when somebody found it, the carbon tooltip has been reappearing a whole lot, telling me how many carbon claims are left on the map. Which is odd, to say the least. Oh, also, the menu music is looping for me right now.
In the game?
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to...
But it's the menu music, which I thought was different from the
only have one
music.
type of
Okay,
music.
do you only have one music? Okay. Maybe I'm just so used to hearing it. There, okay. Alright, chat, so to catch up on what's actually been going on in the game, so far we've got PB. He's working to push to HQ level 3. He'll likely establish some reactors as soon as he can. He's got some silicon, some water available. Game
No,
Slayer.
it just completely threw me off. And then I did the completely moronic thing of mutinying aluminum that was being pirated.
I might mute Soren later, but don't worry about it. Yeah. That was
really dumb.
yeah. That doesn't really always go so well.
Oh.
Cubit says he's stuck. That'll happen when you don't establish any carbon as a scavenger player.
Yeah, it's interesting about stock prices here is there's really only a couple players who can participate. I assume this is Cubit and Sweely that are going back and forth.
Yeah, Cubit's the one who
This
actually
must be
managed
Cubit.
to take it.
Yeah, I see the
but-
stock price immediately.
Yeah,
drop.
exactly. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell if you actually pay attention who got the pirates. So, but man, I love how 3 players in this game have sub $3 stock price. That's fantastic. Oh,
It definitely
man.
changes things.
It does. I like it though. It's just, it's silly, but I like it.
Hey, one of my aluminum shipments made it through the pirates. Oh.
Oh, how are you doing this game? Let's check. You have
I'm
$100,000
doing
in debt.
terrible.
You have no
I mean,
aluminum
that-
or glass.
I'm
Oh,
doing that
man.
level 2 problem where you're not making glass, but you're not making anything that makes money to buy the glass.
Mhm.
So I'm just kind of like
Yep.
treading water right now, I'm afraid.
You gotta have one of those for sure, and that can kind of happen sometimes. You do have. No, that wasn't.
Maybe I'll
used
delete one of
automatically.
my quarries and put a glass furnace there. I mean, I just gotta do something. Like right now, I'm not.
Oh yeah, you have 2 silicon quarries. No wonder you're dead this game. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was a good claim long term, but I
But
probably I don't know.
yeah, early on it's a little bit risky.
Yeah.
All right, PB has managed to get to HQ level 3, so he's still actually competing with Game Slayer. I am amused right now that I'm pretty sure if somebody had literally just gone to HQ level 1, throw down solar panels and done nothing else, they would have
Yeah.
won the game already.
That's probably true. That is totally wow. You know what? Oh my gosh. I gotta get out of this debt. I mean, I didn't found early, and I'm gonna be dead so soon.
It's much more difficult to figure out the game in these big matches with these much higher prices because things can get out of control so quickly. And if you're really not in the right area, you have to be willing to move into the right area, right? Like you probably should have just scrapped your carbon a year ago, bitten
Yeah, I
the
gotta
bullet
put
and
some-
thrown down reactors, right?
Something. What should I do? Yeah, reactors.
I hate
Oh, you're gonna
those
hit 10
filthy
cents before long.
filthy bandits.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
unfortunate.
you know what? I better.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're alive for another 2 seconds before Hexmage manages to be the one to kill you because he threw down farms oh so long ago, and his farms have just been sitting there making him money. I love how
man.
nobody knows how to play the game anymore. It's fantastic.
What a wipeout! I got 3 players at 100% right now. Oh, man, what is-
Cubit's the one who
that's-
notices, though. Is he gonna pull back
Oh,
into
that's
the game?
hilarious! I could pull him back into
This
the
is
game.
fantastic.
He,
Oh man.
oh,
Scientific colony
what a
expanded.
He's the one
disaster.
actually paying attention to the fact that you're crashing and burning because he has literally nothing else to do, right? He's just been sitting there on HQ level 1 because he couldn't money.
That was bizarre. It's the huge maps, you know, like not just the fuel cost, but the amount of time it purely takes to like send
transport the
all way
aluminum,
over to build
things
the
like
aluminum
that.
mine,
Yep.
have it transport back, and then of course we got Union.
But it's all kinds of things like that you can know when you're looking at the map if you can just think those steps ahead, you know? And like maybe just realize, man, this is a huge map. What if I literally just hit level 2 and throw down reactors?
Yeah.
Done.
But yeah, the thing is, we're so used to these very specific build orders, right? But-
Exactly. You kind of got into a rhythm eventually where you throw down your upgrades and then you kind of establish water and silicon, and then on HQ level 3 you move into actually making money because glass was cheap enough you could get away with it, is what it
Yeah.
came down to, right?
Yeah.
Now that's not the case, and so it mixes things up a lot, and I'm kind of hoping it ends up being a good direction for the game to go
yeah.
when all is said and done.
In a lot of players on a reveal map, I didn't really anticipate reveal map working for a lot of players, but it is kind of interesting because you can get a quick sense of like the distribution of resources, and you could choose some very weird strategies right off the bat if you're just purely trying to make money.
Exactly. Game Slayer is just crashing out.
Oh my gosh! Level 4.
He's level 4 with
wrong with
162. He has 200,000 and 232,000 debt, right? Maybe
it-
he just found it a bit too quickly.
Where is he?
He's the one who took all the carbon right in the middle here.
Yeah, ridiculous. Bizarrely, those 3 carbon quarries are making 300 a second for him. 400 a second almost.
Right, even just because of the ridiculous
It's
adjacency
just
bonuses.
so much.
Right,
But
and the fact that Carbon's $50 a second
all
right
of
now.
his buildings are making a killing for him. But, well, he's recovered a little bit.
I think he let power go too long, though,
Yeah,
initially.
Yeah, I
And
wish-
maybe he can still pull it out, but he's going to have to pay down debt pretty heavily at this point.
Yeah, I wish I could see what was coming, because you're right. If I just build power right off the bat, like, who knows? Who knows what would happen?
I like how Cubit is still stuck. He can't get to HQ level 2 on himself or HQ level 3 on you.
Hey,
So
he is
he's just
HQ
stuck
level
with your
2.
territory.
He is HQ level 2. He's got my
Well, but not for himself. I think he can upgrade if he decides to, but he might not be because Carbon's so expensive. He might have been trying to push to the Game Slayer pie.
Oh, yeah. No, that's possible.
Were all these new people
It's just everything's upside down here. You got a level 5 colony at $4 and a level 2 colony at 13.
Oh, man.
X-Mage is...
Oh, man. Hexmage can actually get the buy on
Gosh,
Game
He
Slayer.
must be pretty close on Game Slayer, right?
Yeah, he is. He can get the buy on
can?
Game Slayer. He
Yeah,
just
why
needs to
didn't he do
do
it?
a control shift down and make it happen.
Bye, Game Slayer, X-Mage.
Oh, he can
Level
also
5
get
colony.
PB? What? He's been going for PB the whole time.
Well, all right,
Hexmage
all
manages to knock him out.
Right. Admire that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You
Now
should-
he
you
can
should
just take
be able to buy
down Game Slayer pretty
You can buy Game
fast.
Slayer now.
Oh, Cubit can also is real close to getting that Game Slayer buy. I don't know if
Whoever
either of them will pull it off though.
gets-
Game Slayer's paying down debt finally.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh.
now he's 88,000. They're still both real close.
These farms though, it's all about these farms right now. I think
$300.
$300 food, man. 6-man games are nuts.
Yeah, this
Especially
map,
this
man,
one.
like none of us know how to play the game.
It did.
I mean,
Well, it's just so different now, is all.
ah,
But yeah, let's look at it this way. You guys have been playing this game for months, or some of you like a year or so now, right?
uh,
In close to its current form, but we managed to switch things up enough. With this patch, you guys changed enough things around that nobody knows what they're doing anymore. Oh, I love it.
I can't believe I went down to 10 cents. That's so embarrassing.
You're not the first one to go down to 10-cent stock price. Cubit's managed to expand into water, so I think he's got the single most lucrative tile on the map right now at $1,000 a second for his high water pump.
Yeah, they can both still buy Game Slayer though. Why are
It's interesting that neither of them has. Maybe they just... Well, none of them have seen the red button yet.
because it's all
There we go. Cubit...
Yeah. Good job, X-Mage.
Oh, Hexmage actually went for the buy first. Cubit should have taken it. He had the cash.
They both had it.
I know, but
Both
it
had
just
both.
means... Well, Cubit was sitting on hundreds of water this whole time, right? I think he was trying to hurt Hexmage by buying up water so heavily. He's sitting on 600 water, but he probably should have sold out to get that buy.
Says
Oh, and there's a
600
food
water?
short coming in. Yeah, he's sitting on 600 water right now.
Wow.
And so we've got our level 1 player who
We have
never
a-
expanded for the first, what, 10 minutes of the game?
Huh?
Competing with our HQ level 4 player and then an HQ level 5 player who can get bought out in an instant by Cubit if Cubit sells down his water.
Yeah, that's crazy. X-Mage is a total of 12, level 12 colonies combined. Cubit's level 5 levels. So Hexmage must have, what, 3 times as many claims as Cubit?
Something like that. It's pretty ridiculous.
4 times, probably, with the...
On the other
because
hand, Cubit's still making money, so...
Yeah. Well, and here you see the
Scientific colony expanded.
how the stock price makes a difference, how the stock price factors in colonies at this point, because Hexmage's stock price is so much higher than Cubit's.
Yeah, well,
And
you
that's
could even
because he
tell
has
last
3
game.
colonies.
But
Right. Okay, so this is what I want in a 6-player game, for
Right.
sure. And that's why I want that huge bump, because hopefully Cubit identified the fact that, yeah, if you buy Sweely, his stock price will now jump up to Hexmage's territory.
exactly.
So this is actually a pretty good outcome here. They both, one owns 3 shares of stock, another owns 2. They're reasonably well matched at this point.
Yeah. I think they're both in a good spot. I mean, Hexmage has the claim advantage, right? But Cubit's catching up rapidly because carbon is worth nothing, and he has plenty of aluminum income.
Yeah.
So, whereas Hexmage has no aluminum income, but he only has 2 more HQ upgrades to do anyways, so...
Right.
I
What
don't
happened
know...
to
Oh, who's gonna take it?
what happened to fuel? I'm amazed fuel is $9 on this map.
Well, these guys wrecked it completely by everybody moved into fuel, because, I mean...
Yeah, but oxygen is not wrecked. So
Well, yeah, but fuel you make a lot faster than you make oxygen.
Yeah.
And so,
guess so.
and on top of that, glass is more valuable to make these days, and so that's going to keep oxygen supported just a bit more, a bit longer.
Yeah.
And that seems to be more consistent these days, is kind of
But there must
oxygen ending up a lot higher than
50
fuel.
limps on the map right now.
Well, there's a lot of them.
I would right now go for patent office, pick up teleportation. I mean,
Yeah,
at some
teleportation would be fantastic, in my opinion, at this point.
point- yeah, at some point these blimps are going to add up. Although the price of water, that's the other thing. It's like I figured fuel would be kind of a bizarre thing because look at that price of water. Like it's you know.
Yeah, well, and that's
every-
also
every
because
reactor is
Hexmage
losing you-
is like burning a lot in both his reactors and his food because he just threw the buildings down instead of worrying about his scientific bonus,
Right.
which was a good move on his part,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah. A big part of being able to play scientific at a high level is knowing when not to get fixated on your bonus.
Mhm.
When to accept the fact that if you see two silicons next to each other, just go ahead and drop down that third glass furnace. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Or if the primary resource starts going up too high, switch over to it.
Exactly.
And then it's a big question of how far is your stuff from your base. So for me, scientific is like a very good one if you get near the middle of the map, so you're relatively close to all your claims.
Mm-hmm. Or you can just go for teleportation.
Yeah.
Or you can be Yuzzo, who lately has taken to a strategy occasionally of being like, I'm going to build a patent lab, and then I'm going to get carbon scrubbing and teleportation and thinking machines and oh, I'm dead.
Scientific colony expanded.
Which has been amusing me lately. It's interesting to see how far you can push that, though. Like, how much of a commitment to late game can you make and still survive well enough to get there? That's really one of the big balancing factors in this game that I think a lot of people don't have a grasp on yet. Because it takes some time to even get the basic stuff down, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you're the only guy with a patent lab, you can do some pretty fascinating stuff, but you just gotta make sure you're protected.
Exactly. And be a little bit careful with it. Just a little bit. Don't overcommit too much, and you'll be okay. But like, I don't know. I've occasionally heard it levied at the game or leveled at the game. I don't know. I lost my words all of a sudden. But I've occasionally heard it said, just go with the easy word, that the game is simple.
Right.
And like as a negative thing from an economy point of view. And so, in my opinion, it's not, right? I can find all kinds of little places to take edges and still end up just fine. We're going to have cold fusion this game. All right.
Who took it?
Hexmage. There's no way Cubit's going near that thing.
Yeah.
A 10-foot pole. I mean, come on.
It feels like the water market is finally dead, though. So.
But I don't know. I wonder if you have an opinion on whether or not the game is simple or too simple, or where you think the game lies right now in terms of its
I think with
complexity.
economic games, people are used to complicated games because that's just the way to do it. They've been so single-player oriented and long-form oriented that they get their quote-unquote depth by just having a bunch of junk in the game.
Right.
A lot of levelers turn. The reason that Offworld is interesting is because it is simple, right? You actually understand how all the parts work.
Scientific
So you can
colony
think
expanded.
through those kind of strange things like, in this game, maybe I would have been better off just going for power right off the bat, right? Like you're only able to make that decision because it feels like a board game. You know how all the parts work and how they fit together.
Oh,
You
yeah.
keep it in your head. If it's, a lot of games, that they
have a lot of
maintain their
bloat
interest
to
just
them.
because you can't keep it all in your head at the same
Exactly.
time.
And you can do that with a single-player game, and that's fine most of the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
But with a multiplayer game, I don't know. From my perspective, it feels like the game is just trimming the fat off a lot of the economy stuff and trying to boil it down into a lot more simple stuff that all then works together because you've got other players in the mix, and still ends up being very complicated because you have to deal with other people, and there are enough moving parts in there to keep things interesting. But
Yeah, we try to keep continually pushing the decisions up to a higher level, where you add things like auto supply, right, and
Right.
being able to delete all your buildings at once, and all the just different other clicking on different hitting tab to cycle through all the different colonies so you can see what everyone's producing and where it is, and we don't want you to be playing this game at a micro level. We want you to be making high level decisions about what to be producing when and for how long. Looks like Cubit has finally gotten his feet under him here, though. Like they've been.
Cubit has the 100% if he just takes it.
Oh, he does now.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
But
he just
noticed
has
he's
to pay
really
attention.
pulled ahead money-wise. I'm not sure.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I know I was mostly ignoring the game at the end there, but I figured, there was a chance
it
to
was
go ahead and interview you for a quick couple of questions, so why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it turned into a really interesting game for sure.
Oh, it did. It did. Like, I can't believe Qubit stuck on HQ level 1. I just want to clarify. Qubit stuck on HQ level 1, no chance to upgrade, making absolutely no money whatsoever for the first, I think, at least 4 or 5 minutes this game, right?
Yep.
Manages to come back and still take the win, because you can do that sometimes, because the game just goes a little bit nuts.
Well, this is absolutely one of the great comebacks I've ever seen in Offworld, for sure. And that's good to see. Like, it's not a good feeling if you feel like a lot of the Offworld games, if you're kind of sure what's going to happen, after the first 5 or 10 minutes, where Qubit could have easily washed out this game really, really early. So he had an amazing comeback, and in front of a big audience too. So
exactly, he held on, he got it done. He made $130,000 off of aluminum this game, by the way. I know you guys, I don't think I've convinced you yet that aluminum is an exceptionally important resource, or just how much I think that it is the most important resource, but I feel like that game makes my case for me a little bit. Of course, we also see water he made $300,000 off of. I think it was his single most profitable resource was water.
Yeah, though I did see the water price go from like 250 to 110 in 1 second. So yeah, that was a sign that I assume Qubit just made a couple
giant sell. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really interesting game.
It was. I liked it. It was amusing, at least, to see everybody's stock price drop down to $2 or $3 and yours going down to 10 cents. That was just sad, but what can you do?
Yeah, and good job in Hexmage, too, to take advantage of those low stock prices.
Oh, definitely. Hexmage's the one paying attention to the overall game state. Maybe he wasn't locked in like these other players were, thinking, oh, well, I know how this game flows. This shouldn't be a factor at this stage. And then Hexmage realizes, oh, this is an issue. And he goes ahead and takes advantage.
Yeah, I mean, my high-level goal from design perspective with Offworld is really to make sure that each match is different, so that you're not starting games with certain assumptions of like I need to do A, B, C, D, and like I just need to do it faster than everyone else. Like the ideal games of Offworld are kind of like this, where you have to think on your feet and maybe try something that you've never tried before. So that's what we're trying to get to, and I know there's that doesn't always happen, but that's my design goal for Offworld.
Right. Looks like we've got a question from chat asking about shortcuts, control groups, like in usual RTS MOBAs, and if not, is that a plan for where the game currently is?
We have shortcuts for a lot of things. I think in the new version there's a hotkey options tab, which is useful if for no other reason than you can go in and find out what all the hotkeys are. But I mean, what do you mean by control groups? Like, you want to select?
I don't know what you would like from control groups in particular here.
I mean, I guess you could select buildings, but we don't allow group select buildings because, like, there's just no reason to. I mean, we already have sort of hotkeys for turning off all your buildings of a certain type and deleting all of them from a certain type and stuff like that. For the most part, you can maintain it at a high level. Having said that, probably 9% of players are not aware of things like
those keys.
Control Shift click and turns off.
Control Shift down, Shift. Interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys have changed it yet with this patch, but there's stuff like I'd love to be able to Shift Alt click to send all resources. I don't know if that ever got put in.
That's in this patch.
Okay, and then Shift Delete would also be nice. I know I can Shift click the scrap button.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if I can Shift Delete yet. Small things like that. But
I mean, I'm hoping that we're thinking somewhat in terms of grammar, right? Like Shift is just the do what you want.
Exactly. The do to everything.
Do it to all buildings at a time.
Exactly.
Right? So you don't have to learn it. It's just natural.
Well, which is part of why I was able to say, hey, I wish I could Shift Delete, because I understand what that should do based on what the rest of the game does. It's fairly easy to understand, I think. And I think most of the shortcuts we would want are there.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for casting.
No problem. Thanks for
this was definitely
asking me
fun
to do stuff.
And thanks for watching, everyone. Are you gonna keep casting, or what are you gonna do? Because you can either switch to Zoltar and I can host you, or you can keep casting from here, or do you need to head off?
I think. Hold on, let me check. I think I need lunch at some point. I think there is another game that's going to get played later today.
Right. What time is that? Anyone know?
Let's see. I had it saved off somewhere. I've actually been keeping a schedule handy as I've been able to pull it together, but I think it was supposed to be in 9 hours, so that's a long ways away. PB and Unbreakable Drew is that game. PB should be in chat to let us know for sure. $7 p.m. EDT.
7 o'clock tonight. Okay.
Is what I'm
Cool.
hearing. So that would be in... That's 2 hours earlier than I thought it was initially, but it might be. We'll see what happens with all that. PB will let me know. Okay, PB says 9 p.m. That's his match at least, so there is a match at 9 p.m. EDT today. So that's in a good 9 hours, so we don't need to worry about it.
Sure. Okay. And if anyone has a question, does anyone have suggestions about controls or hotkeys or whatever, please post them in our forums.
Yeah.
We're willing to add all sorts of different stuff if it'll let people play the game easier.
Exactly. Offworld forums over at forums.offworldgame.com, I believe, is where you'll want to head for that. And then I believe you guys do this stream every single Thursday at the
10
same
a.m.
time, 10 a.m. EDT, right?
That's right.
And of course, if you are interested in any more Offworld content, I think I'm going to be heading offline for the moment, but I also do a significant number of videos. My name is Zoltar. I've mostly been your host for today, doing your casting of these games. If you would like to see more stuff from me, you can head on over to either twitch.tv/Zoltar327 or I believe youtube.com/Zoltar327, and you'll be able to find me. But for now, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.